Disclaimer: this video contains heavy topics such as fictional sexual assault, racism, fictional paraphilias, kinks/fetishes, and grooming. No names or specific individuals are mentioned in this video to protect and respect their privacy. I will not redistribute pictures or screenshots of various callouts, as they contain contents and messages not suitable to young or impressionable viewers. I'm going to address the broader damage instead of specific incidents, as they're all similar in nature. But if you're curious about the extent of my actions, they're pretty easy to find online. I am not a healthy person to interact with. I got caught in the cycle of abuse and hurt and traumatized a lot of people, many of them younger than me, both through public exposure and private experiences. Throughout all this, I have apologized many times, because truthfully I never intended to hurt anybody, but intent doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Hurt was still caused. If you hurt somebody repeatedly in similar ways, there's something wrong with you, and you have to figure it out and work on it through any means necessary. Over the years, I have slowly grown, learned, and changed my ways, but I still don't see myself as a stable person. Here's a list of sections I'll go over. I'll include timestamps in the description. Sexually inappropriate. Why? I was a neglected and troubled child with a home that was sexually abusive. In conclusion, I myself am a CSA victim as well. Even so, it doesn't excuse all the trauma I perpetuated and carried out from my childhood into others. I have always found a fascination for dark fictional topics because I will see my own suffering reflected in it. And the more I learned, the worse the topics will get. By the time I'm 13, I grew a fascination with even darker fiction, such as fictional sexual assault, fictional incest, fictional necrophilia, the list goes on. Real-life cases of this I've been always against, though. Throughout my life, I have been consistently anti-violence, with the exception of self-defense. So let's get one thing straight, because I notice a lot of misinformation. I have never practiced any assault, nor ever planned or wanted to. No real pictures were sent or received. No advances towards minors were ever made. All the incidents involved, jokes, art, or discussions are related to fictional characters. How? It wasn't a fetishistic liking for it, but it will carry out in my art, stories, or jokes. I like showing it to people because it causes reactions and attention. Many even encouraging me because, quote unquote, it's just fiction. I don't blame all of them. Maybe they were troubled kids like me, or maybe actual creeps. I'll never know. We're talking about thousands of people here. Given my neglected upbringing, attention was a new thing to me. I finally existed? Portraying or discussing the worst fictional cruelty I knew of gave me a high, a spark among the constant dullness that I carry to this day. This continued for a long time, but as I got enough backlash, I quit portraying and discussing the topics. It wasn't instant, it took a while. A bit of a metaphor here, but I think it works. A parent hitting a child for causing trouble doesn't teach the child why the trouble itself is wrong. It teaches the kid that if they're caught, their parent is going to hit them. Explanation of what makes the problem a problem might teach the kid why what they did is wrong. It might still take time to learn though, and different attempts. It doesn't mean the child is a lost cause. Mindsets take time to change. So, quitting due to backlash didn't address my problems, just the behaviors that stem from it. So I quit in public, but continued in private, and then hide or enable the others to hide proof out of fear of backlash. So here come the next contestants. Things like kinks or fetishes that people consider weird, but are actually incredibly common. I was aware that some of the things I discussed were fetishes or kinks for some people, but I thought that for me and the parties involved, those were but gross out jokes. Very popular jokes back then. So when in the past I said it wasn't a fetish for me, I was not lying. I did not feel any attraction for it. But alas, if you joke enough about a fetish, eventually you'll go, oh fuck, I think this is no longer a joke. Up until 17, I thought it was alright to show explicit, fictional things to other minors because I was a minor too. At age 18, I thought, quote unquote, well, if it's just suggestive and doesn't show anything, then it's alright. So I never sent anything explicit as an adult to a minor. It took me a year or so, about 19 or 20, to realize, no! What the fuck? It's not okay. It took me so long to realize the problem is not that some people don't like it, but that it causes pain, and why it does. Since I was a toddler, this was my normal, and my normal is not normal. At the time of publishing this video, I'm 23. I like to think I have grown pretty normal about these things, showing or talking about things to adults only. It took me 20 years to learn something that should have been obvious since I was 15 or even earlier. I couldn't be any more disappointed in myself. I'm deeply sorry for everyone that got caught into this. I carry that regret every day. A small defense. The definition of a pedophile is a person who is sexually attracted to children. I personally refuse to label myself a pedophile or a groomer due to their meaning. Sexual grooming is the action or behavior used to establish an emotional connection with a vulnerable person, generally a minor under the age of consent, and sometimes the victim's family, to lower their inhibition with the objective of sexual abuse. I have no attraction and no intention to sexually interact with minors, nor lower their inhibitions with objective sexual abuse. I believe some labels might fit my case more accurately. Negligent, failing to take proper care over something. Reckless, heedless of danger or the consequences of one's actions. Rash or impetuous. Irresponsible, not showing a proper sense of responsibility. And ignorant, lacking knowledge or awareness in general. Uneducated or unsophisticated. I'm not a kitty diddler, but I'm still not a person you will want to have around. Call me whatever, but twisting the meanings of these terms causes more harm than good. Use your terms responsibly when the subject at hand is incredibly sensitive. I have some trivia related to the term groomer. Do you know about the song Sunshine Rainbow White Pony. It has a pretty sweet meaning and a sick music video as well. But people have tainted it because the chorus, sung in Chinese, is phonetically similar to the N-word, and people, mostly not black, turned it into a meme. And so a parody of this meme was made, called Groomer Nene. People often make animations of an individual with allegations dancing to the song Groomer Nene as an attempt of mockery, because the correct thing to do when a victim is suffering is animating a goofy video of a groomer dancing. Do what you will with that info. It just makes me think about how out of hand things on the internet get sometimes. Also, I thought it will make for a smooth transition into the next section. Racism. This connects to the same issue I was talking about earlier. The logic of, the cruelest thing you can think of is shocking, so you get a good laugh out of it. It resulted in me joking about racist things and slurs I can reclaim as a mockery of people that are actually racist. No need to try to make it make sense, because nowadays even I myself struggle to figure out how I got there. The definition of a racist is characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. As a person, I do not hold any feelings of antagonism, discrimination, or prejudice towards people of different races. Therefore, I believe I don't fit that label. But not being a racist person doesn't mean you can't do racist things. The actions were accidentally racist, making jokes and saying words that don't belong to me. Even if not directed at an individual or a group, it adds on the oppression and struggle that people of color, especially black, already deal with. I deeply apologize for having been part of the issue. Those behaviors of mine have ceased after blurting out an unsavory joke with a slur I couldn't reclaim in a call. I noticed the discomfort, and from then on, I completely stopped. I was 19 back then. Nowadays, in my private life, I'm doing small things to help improve the quality of life of people of different ethnicities, such as joining protests or boycotts, enrolling in volunteer work, and attempting to get hired by civil service. I plan on making this a bigger part of my life. Message to my victims. Saying I apologize will never cut it, but I'm extremely sorry I caused long-lasting hurt and trauma. I know I sound like a broken record. I want to make things right so badly, but I have no idea what's fair and what isn't. So I decided on a middle ground. Soon after this video, I will stop interacting with people on the public internet. My email will be open only for business, my friends, ex-friends, and victims. Any other message will go straight in the trash bin. I will no longer interact with strangers or fans. This way, I hope to ease your worries of any further harm from happening. If you're a victim and I have never reached out to you, it's not because I don't care. It's because I'm too afraid of reopening wounds unprompted. But I'm open to talk for closure. Email in description. You matter. What happened is not fair. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like you don't. Message to my friends and partner that recently left. I'm sorry I wasn't clear enough about the things I have done. I have often vented about it and tried to quote-unquote warn you about me being a bad person when I felt unstable. but I failed to communicate the real gravity of what I did. I thought I made it clear that I was or am a dangerous person. But I wasn't withholding information. It's just nearly impossible to tackle all the worst things you've done in detail unprompted. I don't think the average person is expected to air out all their worst mistakes without a reason to. I don't know a single friend that did that. Most people just want to think about anything else but their flaws. And I think that's normal, not malicious. If you would have asked me in specific, I wouldn't have kept the truth from you. But there's no way you would have known. I'm sorry. With that said, I still love you very much. You have taught me a lot about love. You're all funny and talented as fuck, and I don't regret a single moment with you. I don't think I deserved such cool people surrounding me. Thank you infinitely for all the great times. Saying I love you in my first language has always been difficult for me. It feels too intense in comparison to love you, but vi voglio bene. Thank you and goodbye. I wish you a bright future. What's next? While I have learned a lot of things, I still believe I'm a troubled individual. I don't want to hurt people, but I still get urges to say shocking things. Lately, it's mostly been self-deprecation. So, as previously mentioned, I'm leaving the internet as an individual, but not as an artist. I will drop everything if the world asks me to. But one thing is non-negotiable: creating and showing art. I'll continue uploading my work and working on my video game, comic, and songs. Dolly Chapter 2's development is a bit rocky due to the co-director and most of the team members leaving, but I will finish it. It'll just take some time. I'm sorry to disappoint the very patient fans once again. Whenever I publish art, warnings will be added accordingly in case I make anything that isn't suitable for everybody. That way, the responsibility and choice at that point is the user's. If the user is not old enough to make a mature decision, their parents or guardians need a bit more than a slap on the wrist and do their fucking job. Because at the root of all of this, it always comes back to neglectful parents. I'm starting a new life. A life where I don't rely on the internet, as it should have always been. I will job seek harder than ever. I will stop chasing numbers and that sweet 30% off tax ad revenue. Art will be a hobby again. As I'm finishing writing this, I just got home from the psych ward and my psychiatrist activated services that will help me sort out my mental instability. Just today I found out I have a personality disorder, so that's helpful knowledge to make progress. Soon I might rebrand too. If other people struggle associating with me, guess how hard it is for me to associate with myself. But to clear out any doubts, it's not to run from allegations. I've always thought that was stupid. People can just edit titles and warn others it's still me. I don't mind. I deserve it. Changing my username 5 years ago hasn't stopped anyone from calling me SLEEPYKINQ, you know? I mostly think of it as a symbol of my fresh start. A life where I don't care about what strangers think of me, but only about what I think of myself and about helping others. I've been often holding my true self back in art in fear of doing something that people don't like, out of fear of people calling me problematic. No, don't worry, I'm not gonna draw anything illegal or the type of things I will draw at 15. But I am problematic. I will forever be remembered as problematic. and my chances of working in the art industry or working with big names are forever stunted. But there are many paths in life. I have lost a lot, and I will continue losing a lot. I will not let this define me for the rest of my life. In spite of what the world thinks and says, I'll keep on trying to be a good person. To those sticking around out of enjoyment or hatred, thank you. And to those that plan on leaving, I encourage you. Your comfort comes first. I wish you the best. From now on, I'm just an art gallery.